did mention that I was wrongly diagnosed for 10 years, but there is something that I did omit to say. So I did not really tell my doctors. I did not have trust in my doctors. I did not actually tell them, what I was going through, that I had hallucinations and delusions. I started hallucinating around when I was 13, about as early as 13, but it came very bad when I was 16. That's when I had my first psychotic attack. And yes, it was treated as a psychosis, then later treated as just mania. So I did not tell them, about my hallucinations, my delusions, all that kind of stuff. I kept everything hidden. And why did I keep them hidden? Because my parents wanted me to. My parents were the kind of people who did not want me to talk about my issues, anything like that. As probably everybody knows, until you're legally 18, like legally an adult, you actually have to have your parents hear every single story that your psychiatrist tells you, that you tell your psychiatrist. Sorry, your psychiatrist will always want to talk to your parents and all that. So I know my parents did not. I know my parents did not really necessarily know what my best interest really was. Like, yes, they had my best interest at heart, but they always sort of made decisions, saying, sit off this, anxiety medication. And unfortunately, I would suffer. I would be like vomiting. I'd be too nauseous to eat breakfast, all that kind of stuff. They did not understand things, and I kept trying to reason my doctor. Who would know my body better than myself? I know how the medication helps me, and unfortunately, I did not have that trust with the psychiatrist. He did not trust me back. So when I was 20, I had my second psychosis, and again, it was kind of treated like mania. And the reason why it was treated like mania, it wasn't treated like, it was thought to be an acute manic attack, and then later thought to be a drug delirium. So it was treated like mania, because that's how you treat drug deliriums. But then I was stripped off that medication. Then as soon as I was stripped off the medication, the hallucinations became even stronger than ever before, the worst they had ever been. And from age 20 to 25, I kept it hidden. I also knew that if I told them, my parents would take absolute control of me, and as such they did. They actually had power of attorney over me. I will talk about that in a future video, but how they had power of attorney over me, and they changed everything. I had no freedom, literally. Like, I could not shake my parents. They literally had control over even what I ate. I'll talk about the power of attorney a bit more in a future video, because it is very detailed, and it's at the point where you can see why I consider my parents quite abusive in that regard, because they would actually put me through that. But yeah, it was my parents saw me differently. Like, they said, you're just awkward because of this, because you have schizophrenia. Like, we're so embarrassed to have you. I mean, like, we don't want anybody knowing that you're who you are. And I knew this would happen. Like, I mean, I just recall like an incident, back when I was living with them, when somebody recognized who I was, and they overheard the person, and they were furious at me. Like, you can't let them know who you are. You're awkward. You're embarrassment to us. And unfortunately, like, they found out who I was. So the reason why I didn't tell my doctor was, yes, of course, I did not want to be labeled as, someone with schizophrenia. I did not want my parents to know. Like, my parents did not want me to, be that way. And I tried to live somebody else's life. And as Steve Jobs has said, don't waste your time living somebody else's life. Anyway, sorry for a redundant video, but thanks for watching.